When we first embark on the journey of studying for a teaching degree, we often carry with us preconceived notions and idealized visions of what this path entails. But as we soon discover, the reality is far richer, more complex, and deeply rewarding than we ever imagined. Perhaps we believe that teaching was solely about imparting knowledge, standing in front of a classroom, and being the sage on the stage. We may have pictured ourselves as the source of all wisdom, imparting facts and figures to eager young minds. Some of us may have thought that teaching was a one-way street, with us as the sole experts and students as passive recipients of knowledge. In truth, studying for a teaching degree goes far beyond the transfer of information. It's about forging connections, nurturing growth, and guiding students on their unique educational journeys. It's about recognizing that every learner is different, and effective teaching involves adapting to their needs, interests, and challenges. So as we venture into the world of becoming a teacher, 7 final year pre-service teachers have shared their views and reflected on what they experienced in the grade R classroom during their teaching practice.
Before having knowledge of participatory pedagogy, my teaching approach leaned more towards traditional methods. This type of pedagogy often placed me in a role of an authoritative figure. Learning in class about participatory pedagogy challenged my prior beliefs, pushing me to embrace a more collaborative, student-centered approach. It shifted the dynamic from a one-way flow of information to a collaborative learning environment. Students actively engaged in discussions, shared ideas, and took ownership of their learning. As a novice teacher, I am eager to embrace participatory pedagogy to create an engaging and inclusive learning space. Additionally, I'll adapt to the curriculum to incorporate students' interests and fostering a sense of ownership over their learning journey.
When starting my study career to become a foundation phase teacher, my thoughts were always I'd like to be like my grade 2 teacher. Therefore, my thoughts were aimed more at the traditional method of teaching, being the authoritative and the only leader in the classroom. Shifting to the participatory pedagogy changed my whole view, making lessons child-centered, having learners actively participate and allow them to explore and use their imagination. My experience in the grade R classroom was quite vague. My mentor teachers still followed the jug and mug method. I would be more inclusive and allow children to explore more of what they would like to do.
Studying to become a foundation phase teacher has been a transformative journey for myself. It has significantly altered my perception of teaching. Firstly, I have come to appreciate the complexity of teaching. I thought that teaching was just the teacher imparting knowledge onto her students. However, I learned that effective teaching involved different methods of delivering content to make the children understand and also take into account their diverse needs, their diverse backgrounds, and also the different abilities of each student. In conclusion, my perception of teaching has evolved significantly during my journey to becoming a foundation phase teacher. I now see teaching as a multifaceted profession that requires adaptability, empathy, and a deep commitment to nurturing the growth and development of each child.
When I started my university journey, I believed that teachers were always right and made no mistakes. I strongly believe that children had no voice in any decision making. I believed that a quiet classroom was a good classroom. I had no philosophers that I followed. However, in our first year of university, we were introduced to Vygotsky and Piaget. These philosophers emphasized the importance of social and cognitive learning and changed my perspective. As a novice teacher, my main objective is to persist in teaching in a participatory pedagogy. I firmly believe that our primary mission as teachers is to foster critical thinking in children.
When I started my teaching practice journey, I adopted the conventional transmissive teaching strategy and I held the belief that teachers are authoritative figures and children have no agency in their voices.
As of right now, I am an advocate for participatory pedagogy. My opinions of a teacher have changed from that of being the only source of information to being a mentor and facilitator who help children along the educational path.
My teaching experience was slightly different. My mentor had an approach where she almost became a gentle parent. She managed the class by allowing learners to be critical thinkers and decision makers by adapting the participatory pedagogy in her classroom. This concept was still fairly new to her and was in the process of becoming comfortable with it. However, learners loved the engagement and felt part of decision making.
In closing, we all agree that the classroom is a dynamic, ever-changing environment. It's a place where chaos and curiosity coexist, where challenges arises, and where every day presents an opportunity to adapt and innovate. Teaching requires resilience, patience, and the ability to find beauty in the unpredictability of the learning process.